Hello and welcome to another episode of Mama Soup Talks, where we talk about issues related to parenting. And today we have John Law from JL Bookkeeping. Again, because he joined us last week with so much great information about childcare expenses. And today we're going to talk to him about disability taxes. So welcome, John.
Morning.
You want to just sort of let everyone know about yourself and what you do?
So my name is John. I am the owner or operator of JL Bookkeeping. During tax season, I specialize in family and disability related claims.
Perfect. So you're the right person to talk to about this topic today, disability tax.
Yes.
Yes. So let's get right into it. What exactly is a disability tax credit?
So what I really want to focus on today is a specific credit called the disability tax credit, or DTC.
Okay.
This is the big tax credit that's available for disabled taxpayers and their dependents. It basically gives you a whole bunch of non-refundable credits that you don't even have to provide any proof of how you spent money on.
Oh, okay. And this is available in Ontario.
This is available nationwide. This is a federal credit.
Okay, perfect.
So the start of this process is a bit of a headache. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Go figure.
There is a special form. It is called a T2201.
Okay.
It is the application form for this credit. You have to have it in place and approved before it can be claimed.
Who approves it?
CRA does.
Okay.
But the diagnosing healthcare professional has a significant portion to fill out on the application.
Yeah.
They usually do charge a fee for that because it's very time intensive. I will caution your viewers that these disability tax services that want X percentage of the credits that you receive from this credit are out there. Really? I personally find them quite predatory. Yeah, there's no need for them to get somewhat as high as 10%.
Wow. And so why would somebody go for that? Because they didn't know better, or because it was just easier?
I would say both.
Okay.
It's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
It's just time consuming.
Yeah.
Like you can easily do it on your own.
Okay.
It basically involves you having the initial discussion with your healthcare professional as to whether it meets CRA's definition of a disability. Then the form needs to be filled out. You submit it, and then you have to wait a few months.
Okay. So the proof that's required to claim the disability credit is the doctor's note, and the CRA has to approve it.
Yes.
Okay.
The nice thing, though, is that because there is a bit of a time factor involved in getting it submitted and approved, there is on the very front page a box that everyone should check. And that is a box that requests that CRA go back and reassess any returns that the credit may have retroactively applied to.
Oh.
So let's say you're not entirely sure if your dependent would qualify for it, and they've lived for a few years with a disability, and then you realize, okay, maybe you have that discussion and you hear that, yes, I should be getting this credit for this dependent.
Yeah.
the credit can be backdated to the onset of the impact of the disability. And
Okay.
CRA will go back and reassess your prior returns as if you had had the credit in place all those years.
Oh, so just.
And they will adjust all your benefits. They will adjust your baby bonus. They will adjust your refund. They will adjust everything.
All just by checking that box.
Checking one box, and it puts the onus all on them to do it.
Perfect. That's some great information right there.
That is the biggest secret to the disability tax credit.
Yes.
Is check that one box.
Okay, so that's we'll actually mention that again before the end of this chat. So if a parent has a disabled child, the parent claims the disability tax for the child.
In a roundabout way, yes.
Okay.
The child will, regardless of age, will always get first use of the credit. So if they have taxable income from something, maybe they have CPP from a disabled or deceased parent. Maybe they do start working at some point and they have taxable income from that. They get first crack at their credit. Anything left over can go to their parent or whoever is generally responsible for their care.
Okay, up to a certain age, I'm assuming.
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nope.
That's interesting. Good to know.
Well, think about a child with Down syndrome. They're going to need, especially if they're nonverbal, they're going to need that level of care their whole life.
Yes.
So that disability credit will follow them their whole life. They get first crack at it. If there's anything that they don't use, it could be transferred.
Okay. Okay, good. That's good to know. So why is it important to claim the disability tax? It seems pretty obvious.
Yes. Like the child care expenses, this is a non-refundable credit. So it only works if you have taxable income. I've had quite a few people come to me and ask, is it worth me getting this credit? So I asked their type of income. If they're on ODSP, OW, or OAS, and that's all their income, not going to do them a lick of good because they have no taxable income to use it against. So they've gone to the doctor, they've paid the doctor to fill it out, they've submitted it, they've waited for nothing.
Okay.
And if they're never going to have taxable income, why go through all that? Yeah,
really. So super important to have taxable income if you're going to claim the disability tax credit.
Yeah. Well, if you don't have taxable income and you try and claim it, it just disappears and doesn't affect anything.
Okay.
So you can put it on the return, but it has no effect if there's no taxable income.
Okay, I just thought about something, and this might be technical and whatever, but last week we talked about child care taxes and how you can't claim child care if it's your family. With the disability tax, does that change anything if you have family helping you?
No.
Okay.
It does not. The thing that does change is when they become an adult, it moves from child care to what's called attendant care.
Oh, okay.
So someone to help them with basic activities, if they need help with bathroom needs or feeding or dressing or shopping or whatever, and they have an attendant come in, that amount is. But again, if it's family, no.
Okay, and I'm assuming if they go to a day program, that's probably tax deductible.
No, unfortunately not.
Oh,
no.
Wow, you would think that would be.
Well, most of those are directly funded by the government anyways.
Okay.
So 99% of them, you're not going to be out of pocket anyways. So there would be nothing to claim. it would come down to whether it is one-on-one attended care, as opposed to a specific, like a day camp for a child or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay, excellent. And do you need, once you apply for the disability tax credit?
Yep.
Do you have to reapply every year, or is it?
So there's kind of a process that CRA sometimes likes to go through. They will usually issue, when you're first applying, one that has an expiration date.
Okay.
It may be good for a year, it may be good for 2 or 3 years. And then you have to reapply and show that the impact of the disability is still there.
Okay.
In certain cases, for something that is obviously permanent and has absolutely no chance of going anywhere. So again, something like Down syndrome or paraplegia or quadriplegia, something like that, that is obviously permanent and can't have anything done.
Yeah.
Then they will issue a permanent one right off. But for a lot of the stuff, they just issue a temporary one and want to see that the disability still has an impact after that period.
Okay, so they'll let you know.
Yes, it will be right on your letter from them saying, this is when it's good till.
Okay.
And if it has a cutoff date and you want to renew it, start 8 months before the expiry date.
Okay, so that it doesn't.
So there's no gap and you don't have to wait for a reassessment.
Oh, man.
So if you get a 1 year, you're going to be starting the process again in 4 months.
Oh, how.
Because by the time your doctor fills it out, that you mail it off to them, they process it and get it back to you and all that stuff. I'd rather the next one sit there for a few months than missing the expiry.
Yeah, and it sounds kind of cumbersome too, to have to go through it again, and pay the doctor again. And
the reason they do this is it is a very large credit with a lot of impact on baby bonus, especially on baby bonus.
Okay.
Like, I think it's like an extra 50% on your baby bonus if you have this credit in place for a dependent. So they want to make sure it's justified before they go giving out that kind of money and refunds and credits.
Yeah, so that's a great point then. If you have taxable income and a child with a disability, then it's absolutely worth the effort. And
to even see, to speak to your doctor. Nurse practitioners can do it. I will send along a full list of who can and who can't. They will know if they can or cannot fill out the form. But basically, it's any kind of healthcare professional that is licensed.
Yes. Okay.
Is the general rule. There are exceptions to that rule, of course, but so doctors, nurse practitioners, I believe physiotherapists are on that list now, but not one I know is not on there is like a massage therapist, even if they're licensed.
Yeah.
They have to have some serious schooling behind them and a license.
Yeah. Okay. So what age can this disability tax credit start at? I'm assuming it could start from birth if it.
As soon as a disability is diagnosed.
Okay. All right.
So for a child with Down syndrome, who's obviously going to be diagnosed at, if not before birth.
Yep.
It can be applied for right away.
Okay. So okay. Good to know. So.
And there is a companion credit to this, which also triggers, called the Canada Caregiver amount.
Oh.
It's basically another 50% on top of this disability tax credit.
Wow, this is significant.
This is a huge disability or a huge credit.
Yeah.
It's basically, I think we're getting up to close to $20,000 in non-refundable credits,
Wow. Well,
which wipes out about $3,000 in taxes for you.
wow. Okay.
So it's huge,
Yeah. So,
which is why all the documentation and all the hoops to jump through.
yeah, and paying the
Yeah.
people to fill out the forms. So, what we talked kind of about, like some of the types of services that are tax deductible, but would things like equipment be tax deductible if somebody required a wheelchair, or modifications to your home?
Yes. So a wheelchair, like a prescribed wheelchair,
Mhm.
could be claimed as a medical expense without this credit.
Okay.
Modifications to a home for wheelchair access, or grab bars,
Yeah.
or even having counters lowered to a roll under height.
Mhm.
There is a credit called the home accessibility credit that those expenses would be claimed under. Sensory toys for children with autism would be covered under kind of the envelope of the disability tax credit.
Okay.
So that wouldn't be something you would need to provide documentation on.
Yeah.
But the other two, if it's claimed as a medical expense or home accessibility expense, documentation, absolutely.
Okay.
The disability tax credit is kind of is in a way a catch-all for all those things, all those extra expenses that you can't claim elsewhere.
Okay, awesome to know. So you can claim other things as well. It's not like if you get the disability tax, you can't claim these other things.
Correct. They're completely
Okay.
independent credits.
Nice. Okay, and so there's been a lot to digest here.
Yes.
But and this is just an overview, but I think the things
Yes.
that we've learned are check the box for
Absolutely.
sure. Check the box. Make sure if you have taxable income to apply for the disability tax credit, which you called the DTC, correct?
Yeah, it's commonly called the DTC or T2201. There's a few names it goes by, but DTC or 2201 is what you're most commonly going to hear it by.
Okay, perfect. And how can people hire you to help them with the disability tax credit?
There will be a link to my website where there is a contact form, or my email will also be there.
Yep.
Along with this video, and then you can contact me either way.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining me today, John.
Not a problem.
John Law from JL Bookkeeping. Thanks so much.
Have a good day.
You too.